This episode of Is This Adulting is brought to you by our Patreon supporters. If you would like to support the show and get some awesome content in the process, bonus episodes, coloring sheets, videos filmed by us, you can head on over to patreon.com/isthisadulting. Thanks. Hey everybody, and welcome to Is This Adulting, the mental health comedy podcast you never knew you needed. I'm your best friend, and we've survived the floodwaters. I'm Stephen Pappas.
And I'm 65 years old now. When I started this recording earlier, us three, I was 28, and we have gone through every possible technical difficulty that could be invented. And I'm old. Things
you
are
look
different
good for
now.
65.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I use a lot of lotion on my skin.
I don't like that at all.
Well, just want to give you a nice visual, everyone.
You know who else is a nice visual? Our guest. Don't think about that. Don't think about Chris being in a tub of lotion. Whatever you do, don't think about it.
We're just going to a guy that's in a murder room currently.
Yes, coming to us live from the murder room, we have another best friend with us this week. You know him as the successful video game musician, Brent Black, as well as a game developer and the host of Trends Like These on the Maximum Fun Network. Please welcome Brent Black to the show. Hey, Brent.
Hello, and yes, you're definitely right about the technical difficulties. I'm now coming to you through a tin can attached to a long string because my normal microphone was not operational, but also, yes, coming to you from what you called my murder room, which is, I got a weird little recording studio, but I had a red LED light bulb, and I usually just turn it on when I'm Skyping with people because it just adds a little pop of color. Just a little pop.
Does.
That's true.
Does.
Well, you do have two. It's just a very boarded up looking room that I love, with just a bunch of soundproofing and two lights, both a backlight, which is red, and then a spotlight. And the combination makes me feel like you're about to say what the next riddle in Saw is. And I'm super excited about that.
He wants to play a game. Oh my gosh.
The first game, how much lotion am I wearing? Sorry, I'm done.
No, with the lotion? Can that not be a bit? I'm scared
I'll
now.
try not to. I'll try not to.
I'm scared. Anyway, we're going to get into everything in just a second. But hey, before we do, Brent, do you want to tell people where they can find you on the interwebs, your project, and or your home address?
Sure. So my current exciting baby of a project is Use Your Words. It's a comedy party game that is available on all the contemporary consoles, plus the Wii U and PC and Mac via Steam. It's super fun, and you can find out more about that at useyourwords.lol. And real quick, I haven't plugged this anywhere but my own podcast, but I'm semi-secretly working on a Star Trek parody musical, and I have a Facebook page if people want to come and, give me feedback. It's like a little weird group of people, because it's hard to get feedback on a musical if you can't just put up a reading of it every day, which I can. But if Trekkies out there are interested in not telling Paramount or CBS, but rather coming and giving me feedback on this thing, you can check that out at facebook.com/TrekParodyMusical.
And if you are interested in telling Paramount, please don't.
Yeah, just don't. Just don't.
Yeah,
I'm talking to a lawyer. We're figuring it out, but just, say it.
I mean, I'm just saying, free use and parody copyright laws. You're good. You're good.
Can I imagine that Spock opens up the entire just musical with "I feel pretty, oh so pretty"?
You know what's funny? Everyone has a Spock joke when I tell them I'm going to do this. My dad was like, "Why don't you have him do a song called I Only Have Ears for You?" It's like, okay,
nice.
Noise, I will do that.
Noise, Dad, you did it.
I will do that, Father. Thank you so much.
Nobody's whipping out Mean Bones jokes or anything.
Well, I don't know that many Trekkies. And fun fact, it's here's the one sentence pitch: Data and Picard write a holodeck musical based on Wrath of Khan. So it's meta. It's a lot going on, but so far so good. Very fun.
I love it. Well, there's where you can find Brent. Now you know. Yeah. And knowing's half the battle. G.I. Joe. Okay. Anyway, I know. I can't say knowing's half the battle without singing the G.I. Joe theme. All right. Well, we're going to move into housekeeping real quick before we get into our mental health checks for the week. First off, we want to express our sympathies to anyone who was in the path of Hurricane Florence and the destruction that came along with that. As most of you know, if you listen to this show, we are in North Carolina, and our areas were hit a little differently. Chris's not terribly, mine not terribly, but a few miles down the road from me is underwater. And so, but nothing like the coast. The coast was devastated. And so we just want to express sympathies for those who were affected by the hurricane, for the families of those that were killed by the hurricane and its complications. So, yes, letting you know. With that said, because so many of you have asked online, Chris and I are okay. We are good. Our families are all okay. We are all set. I mean, the worst thing that happened is we lost power for a little while where I am. So we're all set. That does mean there was no Patreon bonus episode this week because there was some power outages and it was kind of chaotic around here. But there's going to be one next week, so we'll be back on schedule after that. Just wanted to kind of give everybody an update on that and let everybody know we're all good here. So thank you for reaching out online and checking in on us and all that. That was really, really awesome. So thank you. Also, just a reminder, because we're plugging it every week this month, Chris and I are talking about starting another weekly show that would be released, not weekly, monthly. Oh,
gosh. I was like, have we talked about this? Because I'm not aware of it.
No, a once monthly show for listener emails and questions and things like that. We're going to be able to do that when we hit the next Patreon goal. So just so you know, we're pushing for it. We continue to grow. So thank you so much for that. Just letting you know, if you'd like to be a part of that, you can head over to patreon.com/isthisadulting. All right. I said all the business jargon, all that complicated Wall Street talk. Done with that.
It's party time.
It is party time. So what could be more fun than starting off this week, just like we do every week, with a mental health check-in? So, hey, Chris, how you been?
Oh, I thought it was going to be like some exciting news or something. I mean, I guess checking in on me is exciting, but not as exciting as. No, anyway, keep going. So,
you keep going. Don't.
I'm telling myself. I'm telling myself to keep going. Sometimes you just have to tell yourself to keep on going. That's a perfect segue into mental health check-in. Overall, I've been decent. I had we had, because of the weather, we had no idea what it was going to be like, and so we pretty much had to stay inside the entire time. Just, we could have gone places, but we just wanted to kind of be extra safe. So we spent so much time inside, and to the point to where cabin fever was very much a real thing. And it's already difficult enough when you're watching stuff on the news and you're seeing people who are going through incredibly difficult times. And it's just a whole different level of complicated and truthfully, I feel just a level of guilt when you're watching and people not even a couple hours away, if sometimes shorter than that, are having their lives completely uprooted. And for you, it's pretty much a snow day, so to speak. Mm-hmm. And so I definitely felt some of that, and I tried to get my mind off that by me and Kate went on a deep dive on Harry Potter, and we may or may not have watched 4 Harry Potter movies in the same day. And
Proud of you.
Yeah, we watched quite a bit. And
were they good ones?
We watched 5, 6, part 1 of 7, part 2 of 7.
Cool, then you're good.
Yeah. So we were watching that, and then a different thing happened. I don't know how you feel about this. I think it's actually going to come up pretty soon for me. But so I'm a person that I try to be like a completionist on things when it comes to, if you're going to watch something, try and watch it all or whatever. But sometimes when you have like a really big investment on something like Harry Potter, which there's no way you can kind of halfway jump into that. It's either you're in for the ride or you're not. When it comes to an end, it's almost weird that you've, like, at least for me, I felt like a sense of mourning. I was just very sad. And maybe it's because we watched 10 hours of Harry Potter straight. And so I didn't know how to do it. But I almost felt like it was the equivalent of I had just been gone to camp for a week. And all of a sudden I got done and it's like, where's all my friends? So I definitely found myself having like a weird moment of like, why am I somewhat sad and emotional? And it's like 10 o'clock and I don't know what I'm supposed to do with this weird energy that I have. And so I didn't sleep well after that. So that's perfect. That's exactly what you need. Just that combination. So really, I would say for me, it's been really, really small, petty stuff. But nonetheless, I found myself, it's amazing how sometimes small, petty things can still have that dramatic of effect on your daily routine and your daily activities and just your mindset overall. So a complication of feeling guilt and then with the fact that people are really, really genuinely going through some difficult times and then trying to avoid that feeling by trying to hide in something, and then that makes you feel sad, and it's just like, I can't get away from it. But nonetheless, I think I'm glad to have a little bit of a routine again. Sometimes I just realize being stuck in the house isn't good for me. I don't necessarily want to be outside around people, but I also don't want to be so inside that I begin to feel like I'm getting way too emotionally involved in a Harry Potter series. And so overall, I'm doing decent. So I cannot complain, and I'll consider that a win for this week. Brent, how have you been?
Well, this is such an interesting time for me to talk about this publicly because I'm like 12 weeks into my first ever psychiatric meds. And
wow.
It's the kind of thing where like the first month or two was a teeny weeny baby dose. And so like everything that happened, I was like, hyper focused, looking at myself, scrutinizing myself, going, is that the meds or is it me? Is it the meds or is it me? And now it's like, no, I know what the meds are. And today was an example of that. Because melatonin weirdly I used to take it all the time as a sleep aid, but now it, for like most of a day, undoes what my meds do. And so it's almost like a portal back at like the whole reason I, wanted to look at medication as a way to change my productivity, my mood, my energy.
Sure.
And I should say, like, I've dealt with depression and anxiety, but my main thing was just like, I felt like my creativity and productivity had just not been right for like years. And I was getting to the point where it's like, I'm ready to just try, like, if it's not this, it'll be cocaine, but like, give me something, to try.
Yeah.
And so it's, that's all kind of gone up. Instead of requiring adrenaline or like gun to the head kind of anxiety about something, I've been able lately to just like wake up and within reason, like I never get the whole to-do list finished and I do tweet too much, but like to get it done in a kind of a cool burn kind of way. And other than that, like I'm just trying not to jinx it. Over the weekend, my girlfriend and I watched a video of a musical called Falsettos. And I knew that the end was supposed to be sad, but it just wrecked us. And that was kind of good because, there's this worry with any mood medication that you'll be so sanded down that you won't be able to feel feelings or whatever.
Yeah.
And I never cry at stuff like that. It was such a cathartic, beautiful thing. And I started way before her. I was like, the audience at home can't see, but like my little involuntary abdominal crying muscles were like jiggling the mattress a bit. And I was just trying to keep it together. Like that showed me, as long as we're doing this holistic mental health check, my dad has been diagnosed with very early, very optimistic prostate cancer cells, and he's going to go into surgery soon. And like all signs point to this is not that big of a deal, and we don't have to freak out yet. But no spoilers, but Falsettos involves, there's scenes that are in hospitals, There's oh my God, I've known the album for years, but I never understood that there's a reason why everyone in the hospital room, that song sounds so happy. I always felt that it was like tonally wrong, but it sounds so happy because everybody's trying to be upbeat during a thing that shouldn't be. And I never understood that from the album. And something about just staring down mortality and thinking about family and all that, it all came to a head. So it was both sad, but also like good for me to go, all right, I haven't lost the ability to feel this feeling that is necessary to feel.
Sure.
Feeling sad for no reason in a way that affects my work, not so great. Crying a lot because somebody's dying in a piece of musical comedy, great. So, in general, today's been not great because of the melatonin, but I feel like I finally scientifically figured out, okay, this happens when I take melatonin. I just can't anymore, but that's okay because I will gladly not to avoid the kind of weird, almost day of reverting. And it's a weird side effect, but apparently some other people on Lamictal experience it as well. So that's where I'm at.
I'm glad that, sometimes even when there are setbacks with a medication, it's still exciting in the sense that you're able to find potential roadblocks and prevent them from happening in the future. So I'm glad that that's the case. And that's something that's good to know as well, because I've been considering melatonin lately with not sleeping as well. And so knowing, okay, if something starts being weird, maybe it is that. I don't know. So I'm going to keep that in the back of my mind. But thanks, man. Steven, how about you? What is going on? I know you have had a very interesting last couple days.
Have I?
Well, Charlotte has had it.
Yeah, Charlotte has had a very interesting last few days. So, essentially, for those of you that didn't follow the storm, the rings of really heavy rain that hit the coast rotated right on top of Charlotte, and the storm had slowed down so much that it just kind of hung out for about 2 or 3 days, and just kind of dumped on Charlotte. And so Indian Trail, which is technically where I live, please don't come hunt me down, is doing okay, but Monroe, which is like 10 minutes down the road, is underwater. So it's been a wild week of keeping up with the news, not knowing really what to expect here, because when it's a difference of 5 miles, it's making a huge difference of whether your car is underwater or you have a puddle in your yard. Like it's kind of wild to like have to see that and to legitimately have to prepare for that could happen. So that was what made my days interesting, was I had to prepare the house with, by the time we got to sandbags, by the time we realized this thing was going to happen, there were no sandbags in all of Charlotte. Sand was sold out everywhere. So we had to buy bags of potting soil. And we literally built a barricade of potting soil bags around the back and front doors to at least try to keep it from coming in the seam of the door if it got that tall. And so we were quite literally barricaded into our home, but
with a very large dog.
With a very large dog who had to be taken out over the barricade every once in a while. And so, also for musical theater nerds out there, I realize every time I say barricade, you're singing a song from Les Mis. It's okay, so am I. Yeah, I may have yelled at one point when I was taking the dog out. I may have just yelled, "To the barricades!" and just like run. She didn't like that. No. Yeah, it was weird. And so being closed in was kind of odd. But I kind of had the opposite of, I had the guilt, but it was really good for me being closed in. For some reason, I think I had just been running myself ragged for the last little bit. And this was the first 2 days where I was like, okay, I can justify not going somewhere. And so I was able to actually genuinely relax and enjoy some time to myself, just me and Katie, and unfortunately the dog. But Sorry, I don't do that a lot on the show. Just so you know, I do love my dog.
You do.
But I do like to act like I don't. Yeah, it was overall, not a terrible week. I got to go to my happy place on Wednesday, which, if you've listened long enough, is the tattoo chair. I got to spend about 5.5 hours in the chair on Wednesday, and that is really therapeutic for me. And so I got to do that. I'm very lucky and grateful to get to do that. So I'm halfway through my half sleeve. I've got about another 6 hours left at the beginning of October. And so I will continue to post updates and pretty pictures of it as the work progresses on the Best Friends group. So if you're interested in looking at an Adventure Zone sleeve, you can check it out there. If not, that's fine. Whatever. I didn't want your opinion anyway.
You're mean. Get out.
Yeah, exactly. Why you gotta be that way? Why you gotta be so rude? Don't you know I'm human too?
I knew you were going to do that.
It came on the radio earlier today.
Sure,
anyway,
whatever.
As always, if you have a mental health check-in you'd like to share or an idea of how we can encourage you throughout the week, we will remind you again, we are not professionals, clearly. But if you are in need of professional help, please contact a mental health professional, or if you're in crisis, please contact the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. You can also just contact that number if you just want to talk to somebody. You don't have to be in crisis. You can if you just need to talk, reach out. Because we continue to try to spread the message that, hey, you're not alone. So please reach out to somebody, chat with somebody. It's really therapeutic. I had a psychiatrist appointment today, and it can be really, really good, even if it's just a, hey, how are you doing on the new meds? Just to talk to somebody, especially in my case, a mental health professional has been really good for me. But just to talk to somebody and be like, well, let's talk about that is really helpful. So definitely seek professional help in that way if you need it. But if you would like to email us, we'll remind you, we don't get to respond to every email, but you can email us at isthisadultingpod@gmail.com, and just know that we read every single email, and your voice is being heard. All right. Mental health check-in. Boom. Done. We did it. We're pros. God, I'm so proud of us. Anyway, it's time
Just
to move
not
on
mental
to...
health pros. We're
not mental health pros.
At getting that
let me
finished.
remind you, we are not professionals. If you're in need of
All right.
professional... Okay. No?
They
Sorry.
heard that. You don't have to do it
We already
again.
did that?
Yes.
We already did it. All right. Well, we're going to move on to our first segment then. Christopher, what are we
Yes.
doing this week? I know it's a thought exercise. I've told Brent absolutely nothing about this. He has
It's all
prepared
right.
absolutely nothing. And we're going to see what happens, because
It's
I
okay.
like to know what's coming.
Yeah, I apologize for not giving you much of a heads up, but that's okay. It's kind of fun that way. So we've done this quite a few times on the show. It's a fan favorite. It's pretty much the equivalent of the. I don't know if this is mostly like it's like a high school type of thing, or I don't know if it's like a college, or maybe
College.
is it like a college thing? It's
Fuck, Mary,
depending.
kill.
Well, yeah, I was gonna build up to that. I was just gonna make sure, in case there were some kids, I was gonna give the parents, the parental figures out there, a little bit of a heads up. But yes, pretty much, it's fuck, marry, kill. But we just change it around a little bit, make it just slightly different, and that's hitch, itch, or ditch. It doesn't necessarily mean we're just talking about dating people, though. We're talking about it can be really awesome food items. It can be random things. If just one of these, if you had to commit to full time, it's your one and only, ride and true. That's the one you're going to do. Itch is one that you don't want all the time, but it's nice every now and then for just scratching that itch. And then finally, ditches. I don't want that at all. Get that away from me. So it's pretty simple.
And I would like to state, unlike fuck, marry, kill, I do feel like we need to make this disclaimer every time we do this game.
We will not be making sweet love to these items.
Yes. None of this is, there's no romance involved or just carnal urges involved. So, like, if you were like, I don't know.
The first one you made.
Blueberry scones. I mean,
It's an aphrodisiac.
again,
Steve.
I don't want to yuck anybody's yum. If you're into blueberry scones, you do you. But that's not what we're talking about. So if I say I'm going to hitch blueberry scones, that's not what that means.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe that is what I mean. But anyway, we'll keep going. So we're going to start off, actually, strangely enough, one that is a carnal desire, but not necessarily the carnal desire you're thinking of. Oh. And that is, we're going to debate. I was recently talking with a friend, and we were debating between different types of pizza. And so we're going to do this. Deep dish pizza, thin crust pizza, or the cheesy crust pizza. One of them you have to commit to. You have to hitch. One is going to just scratch that itch. It's just going to the occasional time. And then one, you're saying goodbye. So, Steven, you can start off. We're going to start with, who are you going to, do you want to start with hitch, or do you want to start a different way?
Let's start with hitch.
All right, so who are you going to commit to over here? Deep dish, thin crust, or cheesy crust?
I have a question.
Okay.
When you say thin crust, do you mean like mass-produced thin crust, or do you mean like New York style, that really thin, crispy crust on the bottom, the big slices you can fold? Like, does that count as thin crust?
No.
Or are you talking like Domino's thin crust?
I mean, okay, so let me explain. When I say thin crust, I mean the crust is thin. What you were describing a second ago, the New York style pizzas, the dough might be thin, but the crust part is not. It's a normal.
Yes, it is.
Well, some New York is, but then others is just like the more traditional. The big.
Oh no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about those
I'm talking
thin
about
crusts.
I'm talking about very thin. Yes. So
Okay.
any type of thin. How many times can I say that freaking word?
Say the word thin.
Thin.
In that case, if we are including that really thin, like crispy bottom, thin crust, crunchy, crispy, wonderful, delicious, every other delicious adjective you could put in, I'm gonna hitch that thin crust pizza.
Okay.
I like the textural difference, and if you're talking New York style pizza, I mean, there's nothing better. It is the best. I'm sorry, Chicago. I'm sorry, wherever else likes pizza. Everywhere likes pizza. Anyway, it's the best. You're all wrong.
Where's the cheesy crust home of? Who's the home of the cheesy crust?
Pizza Hut.
I'm going to look that up while we talk. There's got to be a place where that started. The birthplace of cheesy crust. Also said Creasy Crust. That's something very different. I think that's a new Kanye song that's coming out, so we'll ignore that for now. But Brent, which one are you going to hitch to?
You know, I wish that it was more original at this point, but having looked, I wrote them down. I've been looking at them on this piece of paper, and I think that the one for me to hitch has to be thin as well. And part of it is I lived in New York City for 10 years. And so I caught the itch to hitch to the thin crust, if you know what I mean. I'm not sure I do, but if you do. But like the thing about thin crust too is like, as opposed to thicker pizzas, well, that's with 2 C's.
Nice.
Steven just looked up with this like, what?
Sorry, I was investigating cheesy crust, and then I was like, ooh, thick with 2 C's.
The thing about thicker pizzas is you cannot eat as many slices before you are full, but the thin crust allows you to take more bites and chew more, which is fun and good, instead of like other pizzas we'll talk about soon that you just don't get to experience them for that long before you're like, I don't have the real estate to keep going. So yeah, for those reasons, I think I'm gonna hitch the thin crust.
Okay, if I'm going to hitch something, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mix this up right now. And I am going for deep dish pizza.
You're a monster.
Whoa.
Yeah, so here's my reason why. This makes it sound like I'm super passionate about deep dish pizza. That's actually not the case. I think deep dish pizza is fine. It's part pizza, part pie in some ways, depending on how deep it truly is. But you're going to just hear some interesting facts in a minute about some of my opinions on the other ones. And so that's more just speaking to my feelings on the other ones. So I feel like I'd be happily married to the deep dish. You know, not necessarily am I looking to be like, man, I'm out of my league over here. But I at least can say I'm married, fine. which is exactly
that is what my wife says about me.
My wife. It's just a much sadder Borat. So yeah. Anyway, so Steven, we're now going to go to what's going to scratch that itch for you.
Okay, I have another question.
Okay.
Deep dish. Now, when you say deep dish, you talking like Chicago style deep dish, or does like a pan pizza, is that included as deep dish?
I mean, either. I mean, we'll give it to the place where it was born. So
Chicago style.
Yeah.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to scratch that itch with the cheesy crust.
Okay.
Because I'm a cheese man. I'm a cheese man.
Okay.
And what is life without cheese? So, it's not as good as that thick crust. It's very rich. You're going to fill up real fast. But oh boy, does it make the crust, probably more exciting than the actual pizza itself. The crust is really the star on that one as opposed to all the other pizzas. And so I'm going to scratch the itch with the cheesy crust, which I did some research and Pizza Hut claims to have created.
Yeah, I did the same thing, but I don't like it as much because I want to give a birthplace to it. And so I went to a random U.S. cities generator, which is apparently a thing. It's amazing what you can Google and find out. And so I just hit it a few times until I just felt like this is the place. We're going to give it to Tulsa, Oklahoma. You heard it here first.
Yeah.
Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Home of the cheesy crust.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Perfect.
So there we go.
I'm Googling where the home of Pizza Hut is just to see.
Oh, actually,
where was the original hut? It was actually a mud hut.
If it's freaking Tulsa,
in a far-off land. I'm just kidding.
It is not Tulsa, Oklahoma. It is Wichita, Kansas.
Oh, wow. But similar.
Fine. Sorry,
Tulsa. Wichita, Kansas, and Tulsa, Oklahoma are very much in a similar, I would say, category of town.
Yeah, it's Midwest.
All right, there we go. We're just gonna give it to them both. How about that?
Yeah,
Kansas
well, you can't take it away from Tulsa now.
I know it's too. I was too early to give it, but that's all right. So, all right. So, Brent, we have the first cheesy crust for the scratch the itch. What are you gonna go with, Brent?
I think Steven and I might just be pizza soulmates because here's the deal, and as I will expound upon more during the ditch round, this was more about choosing the one that I was prepared to leave forever rather than choosing the one that I think scratches the itch best.
Yeah.
And, not to subvert your prompt, but if I put 2 regular-sized cheesy crust pizzas on top of each other like a sandwich, now I've basically got a small but approaching deep dish level of pizza and almost a open-air calzone.
Ooh, an open-air calzone. That's the new hip thing.
Yeah, forget those McMansions. You want to live in an open-air calzone with a sunroom and some pepperonis to sit on. It's that also, as much as I love the idea of just totally destroying a deep dish pizza, I'm 34 and my whole digestive orchestra does not play the tunes it used to play. And so when I really go for it, I pay for it. And I feel like cheesy crust pizza is a little bit of that indulgence, a little bit of that, wow, this is a lot of cheese, but not as much as actually going for it with a true deep dish where you're now I feel like I've quaffed a bottle of glue and this is my life now. That's what deep dish feels like to me.
Yeah. I think that we're all on the same page here and I had a good feeling that this was going to be the itch. Cheesy crust is one of those things where I see from across the room and go, yeah, I'll take a piece. And then afterwards I'm like, I'm good. No more. And I think that's the definition of sometimes what an itch should be. So it's okay. I could have a piece or two and then I'll say, I'm good for another year. until the moon gets back at the same perfect place, and then I'll go back to that bar and find that cheesy crust. But yeah, so now we're just going to get into we have literally, me versus both of you, have gone the complete opposite. So let me hear the hatred for deep dish as time. Steven, you can begin. Why don't you just join in together and explain what is it about deep dish that you hate?
Well, as I've previously stated, I'm a cheese man. Boy, am I a cheese man. And there's a lot of tomato going on in a deep dish pizza.
There's a lot of cheese too.
Yeah, but it's not that good roasty toasty cheese that you get on top of a thin crust or a New York style. It's not that ooey gooey delicious cheese that's inside of that crust. It's just cheese. And at the base and core of my humanity, I do love cheese. But there's too much else going on. Plus, rule number 1 of pizza. I don't want to eat it with a fork like a monster. If I have to eat pizza with a fork, what kind of fucking abomination?
Dude, you're not eating deep dish right.
I love those mythical legendary monsters with their pipe in their slippers and their fork and knife over a deep dish pizza.
Dude,
they're very scary. I hate to fight them in D&D.
You know for a fact that they call stuffed crust or cheese crust open air calzones, and you know that you hate them already.
You know they're those people that pour the milk in first and then the cereal.
Oh my God. Floaty cereal monsters, the worst.
God, it's a monstrosity. The fact that you are shooting down deep dish, I'm just going to go ahead and call you out on it. You should be ashamed of yourself. Or not shooting down deep dish, shooting down thin crust.
Oh, okay.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
Okay.
You should. And I think that you owe everyone listening, listeners who would usually be the ones listening, sorry.
Sure.
I think you owe them an apology. You owe them an apology.
Before I do, I want to, I need to, I haven't gotten enough shame yet. I need to hear why deep dish is bad from Brent too, because I know you have some opinions.
Okay, so I've had different diet regimens over the years. Mm-hmm. I briefly tried being a vegan. I've done Whole30 a couple times this year. And here's the thing. The most freeing part of Whole30, and I'm not doing a commercial for it. It's not fun, but the most freeing part is breaking up with the need to feel really full. It's like a very American thing. Like if you don't feel like, if you're not like grunting and like almost plaintively moaning because of how much you ate, you didn't eat enough. That's this very American thing. And like, so now I've gotten to the point where that has become a bad feeling. It used to be like what I was going for. Now it's like a bad feeling, like I'm on the road and like if I go, oh, there's a Burger King and I'm in a rental car. I'll go and get like a whole Burger King meal and a shake. And then like what used to be the goal is now like, oh, what did I do? I hate myself. So here's the thing. Deep dish pizza is the pizza version of that. There's no like, oh, I'll just have one little bite with my fork and knife. No, you've left the perfect triangle damaged. You have to have at least one triangle. And I wonder if Steven and I have different deep dish pizzas we're ditching. Because I'm thinking Uno, which is just like, they go, here's a regular amount of cheese, and let's put 6 times more on top of that, so that it's now this tall tower of cheese that your body has to somehow turn into energy.
No, Stephen would be behind that.
See, that's the thing. You kept talking about bread. Right, you kept talking about the cheese, and I was like, dude, cheese, man, that's okay. Because like for me, the reason, and I love, by the way, as much as you want to hear the hatred, I can really go in on a deep dish pizza. It's just not the long game good choice for me that I need to be. And like, I don't know about you guys, but there are certain substances that are fun that make one quite hungry. And I have been known to not really understand my limits in certain modes of being hungry. And like one time I legit, like my friend made this cake. Can we talk about weed? Is that weird?
No.
Okay, we're talking about chewy vitamins. Yeah, sure. Sorry.
Dude, I got hopped up on the omega-3 gummies. No, I saw, this is early on in me getting high, and I got the munchies so bad, and like my friend had made this cake that didn't turn out well, and she just in exasperation put the cake pan in the sink. There was no water or other sink things on it, but it was like this ruined, not good, burnt cake. No icing on it, dry, like supposed to be like, you know, yellow vanilla cake. But I got the munchies, and none of us could drive. None of us were good to drive, and she just her fridge was bone dry, and I was like, what if I have like a little bit of that cake? Gentlemen, I ate the whole cake. That is how that night went. No like icing, no moistening agent, and boy, it was terrible. So what I'm saying is, if I did that to thin crust or cheesy crust or deep dish, the deep dish is the one that it really has the consequences the next day where you're like,
that makes sense.
I did not know what I was doing to myself, and now I am mostly cheese.
Sure. Okay. I think that's a really deep philosophical statement. I am mostly cheese. I think I can't remember who quite said that, but I'll have to look back a little bit later.
Chucky.
Chucky. Oh, okay. It was actually a cry for help
in his memoir. Yeah,
I am mostly cheese.
It was actually Charles.
Children won't stop playing around me.
Charles
Edward Cheese.
Edward, not Eleanor.
Let's see here. So here's my thing about thin crust compared to deep dish. Neither is my absolute favorite. I think the fact is with deep dish, I can just have one and I'm cool with. Which some people might think I'm a monster for that, but it's just so filling, and it takes a little bit longer to eat because you have to use a fork unless you want to straight up be a farm animal with a sloth and just straight up slap up from the pan. But here's my thing about thin crust. Like New York style pizza, I actually personally almost consider it like a separate type of thing, because I think of like the huge pieces of pizza that you are able to fold. When I think about thin crust, I think about the crust to where like it's almost hard. The crust is so crunchy, and I personally don't like very crunchy pizza because for me it just feels like it's burnt. And some people love burnt flavor or burnt that type of stuff. I don't like anything like that. I'm the same way with bacon, for instance. Like I don't like super, super crispy bacon. I know I'm very, very in the minority on that, but it's the truth.
No, I'm with you on that, actually.
Oh, thank you. And so like for thin crust pizza, it's just because it's so thin and it's so often almost feels like stale bread or something. Like for me, that's the reason why if I had to ditch one, it'd be that. That's all it is. I'm sorry for anyone out there who disagrees, but I just want pizza that's soggy. Can I ask for anything more?
I don't know that I'd use that adjective.
Well, I mean, in comparison.
But I can relate. Like as a kid, I actually had this phase where I would like put various cereals. I'd put the milk in, obviously after the cereal.
Okay.
If we have any monsters listening.
Yeah.
But then I would I remember specifically Fruit Loops. Milk in the bowl, Fruit Loops, and then put that in the fridge for 5 minutes and let it get less crunchy.
Yeah.
Because there was something good about like the softness of and soggy is a word that technically describes it, but like that's not a bad texture with that. And like so I know
don't
what
consider
you're saying
soggy
about
a bad
pizza.
word.
Here's the thing. I used to do that. I did it with cornflakes. And what I would do, you pour the cornflakes in, you put what should have been a small amount, but I put a heaping 3 tablespoons of sugar on it. Then I poured the milk in, and then I would let it rest.
Ooh.
And so you get that soggy cereal, but you also get that sugar milk.
So
and
it's
at the end,
homemade
it's just,
Frosted Flakes.
Yeah, and at the end it's just gritty sugar.
Okay.
It's wet sugar, but you eat it.
Perfect. Fun
We
fact,
just waxed
actually,
poetic for 20 minutes on pizza.
Wet Sugar, though, that actually was a stripper name of mine for a little bit. It was just a very damp strip joint, so that's why they called me that.
It's also the third album from Def Leppard.
Yeah, that's where I got my name from. All right, so we're gonna keep going. That was a very long one. We usually aren't so passionate about that. So well done, boys. We're now gonna move, and this came because of my 10-hour movie fest with Harry Potter. I was listening to one of the audiobooks, and then I finished it, and then I was like, man, I just got to keep watching these things. And because
Don't you make me pick a Weasley sibling.
No, I'm not going to do that. This is much more broad because Harry Potter is known in some ways for all 3 of these things. So would you rather have a good book, a good movie, or a good song? Difficult, right? So how about this? We're going to start with... Let's start with ditch this time. So, Steven, if you have to get rid of one, which one are you going to get rid of? Good book, good movie, or good song?
This is...
Do you need us to switch somewhere else?
Chris, which would you
may
get
go
rid
first.
of?
All right,
yeah,
so,
you had more time with this.
That's fair. So, this one's a difficult one because sometimes, like I said, all of them are good options. I think the reason why I chose this one, so I decided that if I had to ditch one of these, I was going to ditch a good song. And the reason why is because there are tons of good songs out there. They don't last as long in the sense of literally, like they're 3 minutes and compared to the duration of some of the other ones. And I don't know why. I feel like I can more quickly get tired of a song than some of the other ones. And I like music, but I listen to so many other things. For me, it was just, they're all good, but if I had to just say goodbye to one, it would be that. How about, Brent, are you ready for yours so Steven gets a little bit more time?
I think I am. So we're starting with ditch, right?
We're going to ditch this time. We're going to start off with that.
So, again, this is sort of, I feel like there's something of an ink blot test or some kind of personality test that's a meta layer of this for me, because the one I'm ditching is the one that I think is not the one that I must have in my life, and also isn't the one that I should have in my life. So I'm going to ditch movie.
Okay.
Because when I think about the things that I really should be doing with my media consumption, or the things I can't live without my media consumption, movie is neither of those. Although, boy, am I sad to ditch it. But yeah, that's...
Yeah. Makes sense. It makes sense. Steven, you now are forced to make a decision.
So this isn't just a single good song forever, a single good movie, and a single good book.
Oh,
right?
yeah. This isn't like you have to forever... It's just more generally like out of these... Everyone has just a really good book in their life that they understand.
Okay, so this is
a
like
really
one
good
at a
movie.
time.
Yeah. This
Okay,
isn't
that
like you
changes
have to-
everything.
Yeah, you don't have to forever get rid of something.
I think for me, I'm going to... This is really difficult,
I
y'all.
know. I knew it would be especially difficult for you.
I'm gonna have to ditch movie.
Okay, wow, I'm surprised.
Yeah, I agree. I should be doing things that expand my brain a little more. But also, for me, being not that Brent's not, but being a musician, like, I can't ditch a song. And really...
Yeah, that's... Yeah.
I think, honestly, it's coming together as it's the one that if I have to, I guess I will, but I don't want to ditch anything here.
I know.
So, yeah.
I know. It's the one that got away. I understand. It's all right. So now we're going to go to... now we're going to commit to something. We're going to save the itch for the end. So we're going to commit. What is going to be your ride or die, the thing that you are going to get hitched to? And I'll start off. And I'm pretty surprised by this, but I was reminded in the experience of just the last couple weeks, and that is for me a good book. And the reason why is, so I get frustrated because I don't read as much as, everyone doesn't read as much as they want to for the most part. I mean, some people are really great at it, but most people don't. They always say they wish they could read more. And I'm a very slow reader, and so I feel like I've always gotten really... I don't know, I've been a little insecure and intimidated by that. And so sometimes I feel like I'm less likely to get started in a book. But when a book is really good, the feeling that I feel like I get from that is significantly higher than the others. Because there's something fun. Like, let's talk about Harry Potter. This is what it kind of reminded me of as I was listening. In this case, I was listening to the audiobook. And I found myself just remembering whenever there was a good book in my life, how it was strange, how I wanted to put everything else on pause. Like, I did not want to watch TV. I did not want to finish a conversation with someone. I wanted to just eat and then, like, read the book as I ate. And I just remember, like, for instance, like with Harry Potter, when the books would first come out, I remember, like, I would be with my family and... like my parents, and I know my aunt and uncles felt the same way. They almost felt conflicted of, we want to support our children reading, but also we want our children's attention for at least a little bit of time. and there's just something really cool and fun and just like captivating about being able to like see you have a destination to get to. And it's like an accomplishment when you finished it too. And so I think just the feeling that it brings for a good book is a feeling that you don't get very often, and that's why I would have to go with that. So, Brent, how about you? What are you going to hitch to?
You know, I got to hitch to song, and
Sure.
Having thought about it, for the past 5 minutes, it's like, while a book can be a journey, or gosh, a series like Harry Potter can be a long journey, an adventure with many hills and valleys, a really good song can kind of compress all the emotion and the whole journey into a really short period of time.
It's true.
I have, this is a thing that I don't talk about much, but I am soon to pay off student loans for a master's degree in musical theater writing, which is really just songwriting that was for the stage. And so I teach songwriting, and songwriting is basically a good song is basically like good sex. It starts off pretty good, gets better, and then like there's some kind of really great. Now look, pause. Those of you out there that have sex differently or aren't too orgasm focused, that's great. I am just talking about the kind of
personal
traditional
experience.
idea. It's probably, now that I think about it, sort of a misogynist, terrible Freudian thing, but we'll put that aside. Just know that I'm aware of that and working every day on being a better person. The point is that
more rounded sex is what you're working on every single day.
Yep, I'm trying. I'm reading a lot of books, listening to a lot of songs. But no, there's a the rising action climax denouement is like 3 or 4 minutes. And a movie, you got to be in the right mindset. You got to sit down. When I listen to a new song, when I get hooked on a new song, it's like a simulation of being in love. I want to listen to that all day. And like, I get out of a thing and I'm walking to another thing. I've got 5 minutes in between. I'm going to listen to that song and it's going to be good. And like, you're right, Chris, that like, it doesn't, like, it gets old quickly. Mm-hmm. But when it's new and exciting and fresh and it's just hooked into you, I feel like it has a function and even an addictive nature that a movie and a book can't really pull off. And so I feel like I have all of these friends or lovers or something, or what, like when you look back through your purchased music and it's chronological, so you go, oh yeah, I did have a little fling with ELO's Mr. Blue Sky that summer, or whatever it is, and it takes you back to that, And so, yeah, I just couldn't do anything but song for Hitch.
I understand. I'm just going to make a statement that I think Steven would agree with. Brent, I think we all just want a man out there that talks about us the way that you talk about songs. All I can say, goodness gracious, that's some meaningful stuff right there. Steven, where are you going to go with this?
Once again, Britt and I are on the same page.
Man, we like thin pizzas and we like music.
We like our music.
Pun intended. There we go.
Same page. Nope, that's not where I'm going. No, for me, songs kind of, you said everything I want to say more beautifully than I can say it. Because I feel like for me, it's a matter of, I have had books that have made me have an emotional experience. We all have. We all read Harry Potter. We all cried. We all know we did.
We've all read the dictionary.
We all read
Cover to
Everybody
cover.
Poops.
Just imagine someone just like reading the dictionary morning, like, it gets me. So
Yeah,
It gets better after K. You just got to stick with it.
it's
It's
just got
true.
all the right words. No, but for me, like, I've had books that have made me emotional. I've had movies that have made me emotional, but I have never. Songs can make me happier than any other form of media, and they can devastate me more than any other form of media. There are sometimes in the same thing, and with you having a degree in musical theater, I don't know how you feel about Hamilton, but like we've talked about this on the show.
Hamilton, it's amazing. The end.
Oh, okay. I was like, oh god, what's he gonna? I thought you were like, Psh, Hamilton. I could have written.
So
about
the
to
look you
break
saw on
his
my
heart.
face was the look you saw on my face was me trying to encapsulate my feelings into a not interrupting your thing amount of time. So it's great. You're good.
No, but yeah, it's like, for instance, that is a thing for me that, like, the songs in that, they bring me joy. There are times that I am bawling, I'm devastated, And like, that's music. Music does that. And it's not just the words. It's the composition. It's the way music is put together. It the way it ebbs and flows. And
yeah,
books, I know, have pacing, and movies have pacing, just like music has pacing. But for me, that back and forth mixed with words, it seems like not passive. I wasn't going to say passiveness of watching a movie with the engagedness of watching or reading a book. It seems kind of like both, though, because I've got the music, which is not always the first thing you think about when you think about songs. For me, at least, I'm a lyrics person. You know, I'm a lyrics guy, just like I'm a cheese guy. And yeah, I focus on words first, and the music is just kind of there. And then once I've absorbed the words, I go back and I hear the music. And depending on how that is, it makes me react in different ways. And so for me, yeah, I take a song any day.
Nice.
Well, then we're gonna finish this off with what is gonna scratch that itch. And yeah, I went a completely different direction than y'all. So I'm excited to kind of hear. For me, I thought I was going to get hitched to a good movie because I love movies and I'm a sucker for the big screen. Like, I enjoy watching movies at the house or whatever, but there's just something fun about going to the movie theater. Whenever we used to go with my family, like, it would always be like a big deal and I was always super excited. And it was especially awesome if it was one of those times where you got to get like candy or popcorn or something. So yeah, and I don't really go to movies that much anymore, and I don't really know why. Well, I think I do know why. It's because movies used to be super affordable, and now they're like $45 for without anything, because they have reclining chairs and everything else with it. But I think just at the end of the day, when you look at the definition of what an it should be, it's what's something fun, lasts a couple hours, and then you're out. And in that case, that's a movie. I mean, so, I think each of them can provide really, really amazing, moving feelings in a way that the others can't. And yeah, I think for me, it's just I think the movie is already kind of what my itch is. Like, every single once in a while, you go and see a movie when you're really excited to see something, and it's hopefully usually what you want it to. Sometimes it's not, but it's as simple as that. So, guys, tell me, what is it about books for you that is going to scratch that itch? Whoever wants to begin.
So, I somewhat shamefully rarely read fiction, outside of graphic novels and comics, which, you know, like, I'm reading Saga right now, but also I just finished Bob Woodward's book. Now, I do a news and politics podcast, so I just finished Bob Woodward's book, Fear, which was a fairly thick tome about the madness inside the White House. And it's like, that is good. Like, that's my brain kind of Pac-Man nomming on information that will inform a bunch of other stuff. And you can't really, you know, very few songs can deliver that level of information that it will be nutritious for your future knowledge and thoughts and movies. And again, I love a good movie, but for me, it's the very specific function that a book can have to edify my understanding of the world. And sometimes right when I need that to happen, because usually I pick it up because I want to know what's in it. But yeah, I think for me, that's why book got the itch category.
Sure. Good idea. Steven?
You know, as you were talking, I was kind of sitting there going like, oh, I rarely read fiction except for comics and graphic novels. Oh, I enjoy nonfiction because I like absorbing all that information at one time. And I was sitting there thinking of all the ways I could express to you how similar our arguments are, but I'm just going to leave it at this. Books scratch the itch for me because books are great. I should be reading more books than watching movies. That's one of the reasons I chose it. And I like the amount of information I can absorb through a book. But really, the more important thing we need to address here is Brian K. Vaughan's Saga is the greatest graphic novel ever written. And if anybody out there disagrees, we will fight. Okay, no, I'm not taking it that far. Please don't at me, nerds. I am a nerd as well. I'm one of
I'm
you.
gonna say, all right.
Yeah.
High school
Literally.
senior of the football team. Don't at me, nerds.
No, like literally as you sit behind me, there is a Spider-Man thing above me, a Lego Star Wars ship, and a Targaryen banner. So like, I'm one of you. Don't worry. But
Yeah,
Saga.
It's great. Once a year, I can't really do the individual issues because it just feels like it's piecemeal. So basically, once a year, I will buy the new trade and then sometimes two, but usually it's one. Buy the new trade and then just read back through the whole thing, including the new trade. It's awesome. I sometimes wish they would make an HBO Game of Thrones show about it, but the only reason I wish that, and they never will, the only reason I wish that is so that I could share how great it is with my friends that think comics are like too nerdy, even though they watch a show about dragons and elves and stuff.
Right.
And think that that's, like normal. So, anywho, it's wonderful.
I have a really important question to address. Brent,
Yes.
you mentioned earlier a girlfriend, significant other?
Yeah.
Damn. Okay. Because I'm in love with you now.
Oh, okay.
So it's okay. But
Okay.
I'm a trade
Talk about
waiter
him
as
the
well.
way you talk about music, Brent. Come on.
God, if
I'll leave the room. We'll all, as a collective podcast, the listeners, we'll all leave. We'll take 5. We'll
I can just ASMR some sweet nothings. Is that what you're saying?
I hate ASMR so much.
But you're willing for this. Well, gentlemen, hey, I think we need to end it there. I had others, but honestly, we had such passionate conversation about 2 of these, and I think that was good. So, plus, I really want to get to this game because I love this game so much. And so, yeah, well done, y'all. I think this is something literally we could have had some beers and been up for 6 hours playing this or doing this. And so,
Sure.
So, yeah, that was awesome.
All right, well, we are going to take a quick break, but we'll be right back with more Is This Adulting? Hey everybody, best friend number 1, Stephen Pappas here, breaking in with your weekly podcast recommendation. Well, okay, sort of. So this week, you just heard us talk about comic books, and you know I love comic books. So I'm going to tell you about a fun little project that a few of our guests from the past are working on. Science, with an exclamation point, so science. Do you like Harry Potter? Do you like Star Trek? Then you're going to love Science. Science is the second graphic novel from writers Jason Inman and Ashley Victoria Robinson, who co-created Jupiter Jet. Science tells the story of 14-year-old Tamsin Trakru, who has just been accepted to study at the Prometheus Institute, which is only the very best science school in the entire world. The only problems? Tasman's dead father used to teach at Prometheus and downloaded his consciousness into Tasman's glasses. That's right, he can talk right into her ear from beyond the grave. He can see everything, including Tasman's developing relationship with her cute roommate, Garen, who just may have figured out how to tear a rip in the fabric of reality. Science is an 80-page adventure published through the Eisner-nominated Bedside Press and is available exclusively through Kickstarter, so you can get such awesome rewards as a script review by Batman and Mr. Miracle writer Tom King, who is a personal hero of mine. So go to sciencecomicbook.com to donate now. So Ashley and Jason have been on the show before. Ashley's been on a few times. They are lovely folks, and they're right in the middle of their Kickstarter campaign for this right now. The book sounds amazing, so definitely go check it out and support them. All right, back to the show. Saga's great. I really hope we sold about 85 copies for Brian K. Vaughan, just based on this, because, he needs help. He needs it, y'all. Brian
Clearly, yeah.
He's having a rough time. Anyway, hey, we're back. We're back on the show, and I don't know what's up with Brian K. Vaughan. I realize that's in there, but I hope he's doing okay, y'all.
Okay.
I think he's doing better than us. Anyway, it's game time.
Yeah, I would say really good segue there.
How good I am at those.
I know. All right, well, gentlemen, we've only played this game once before, and I wanted to bring it back. And so I don't know if Stephen, I know you, of course, have, but I'm not sure how sometimes deep into the internet you can get, Brent, specifically on some of those shopping sites. But there's a very popular site that's swept the nation, if not the world, and it's called Wish.
Amazon.
Walmart. Yes, so Wish is a very popular online website, and it sells a bunch of stuff, and it always sells it for very cheap. Some of the items, if not most of the items, though, that are on this website are weird, like Really weird. So I'm going to list off 3 items. I'm going to give you a category, and then I'm going to list off 3 items. One of them actually exists on Wish, and the other 2 are from the weird depths of my brain. You have to try and guess which one is real. And for an added point, once you've buzzed in, whoever first buzzed in gets to try and guess how much that price was. And if they don't get it, then the other person gets a chance to steal. And whoever's closest gets the other point. So it's pretty simple. You just got to buzz in. I think buzz is probably the most appropriate
That's a good
way
word.
to buzz in. So we're going to start off nice and simple. Gentlemen, are you ready?
Yes.
Born ready.
We're gonna move first into the very, very popular space of hair products, and I think it's
Yes.
appropriate.
I'm an expert.
Yeah, I think it's
Let's
appropriate
go.
when I think our combined length of hair is what a normal person's hair might
Yes.
be. So it's only appropriate. But here are the 3 items. I'm going to say the name of it, and then I'll give you a brief description. Once I've done all 3 of them, you can then buzz in. So the first product, it is the dye coloring hairbrush. It's a brush that literally dyes your hair as you use it. Second item, the hair straightener gloves. Straighten your hair in half the time with these gloves that you run through your hair. Or 3, helmet head. Wash and dry your hair hands-free with this new salon on the go, which is a helmet.
Buzz.
Steven?
Is it the helmet?
It is not. I so
Oh.
badly wish it was. So Brent, you get a chance to try and guess. It's either between the hair straightener gloves or the dye coloring hairbrush.
I was going to guess the dye coloring hairbrush.
Brent, you are correct.
Yes!
This looks straight up like something from My Little Pony or something like that. I'm going to send you a screenshot so y'all can all look at it, and also it is going to be in our show notes, which you can just click there and look at our blog, because that's will be the best ways for you to see this chaos that is this. So get ready, gentlemen, for I don't even know how to describe this. It does not look like it would work well at all. So if you check the chat, gentlemen.
Oh, there it is.
Yes, it is.
Oh, wow.
It is. I think my favorite part about this, for anyone, you got to go and check out this picture. I just love how perfectly dyed it is.
Yeah.
And you know for a fact that this thing is a complete, utter failure. You know it's not going to work that well.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think that's her real hair.
Oh, I can.
Yeah, it looks like a wig to me.
It honestly looks more like a paintbrush that just directly applies color.
It looks like she's put like wood stain on her head.
I mean, that is the best way to describe it.
Are there bristles on this brush, or was that just a sponge where the bristles go?
I don't understand. I've tried to look and I can't figure it out. It doesn't give any just like straight on pictures, unfortunately, about that. So yeah. But Steven, just because you didn't get the point doesn't mean you can't guess the correct amount. So any idea how much this awesome product is going on for Wish right now? Remember, Wish is often known for how affordable their items are, if you want to say it that way.
But somehow I feel like you're leading me on with that.
No, I promise you, none of these are absolute crazy prices.
Okay.
They would be what you would kind of expect, if not a little bit cheaper. But so if you just have to guess.
I'm going to say $15.99.
All right, that's a solid guess. So if you did not get it straight on. But it's okay. So Brent, you get a chance.
Is this Price is Right rules closest without going over?
It's not closest
Or-
without going over. It's just the closest.
Okay, well, I was thinking cheaper just because it looks like such a piece of crap. I'm going to say $8.99.
It is a piece of crap, that is for sure. It is $19. So Steven,
Ah.
you were only you were like $3-4 off, and so because of that, you get a point. So it's still 1-1. No problem
All right.
whatsoever. Gentlemen, we're now going into another section that is not necessarily near the hair products. It's a slightly different part of the mall. And that's when we're going to go to the jewelry section, because, everybody needs some solid jewelry. So I'm going to read all 3 items. You have to tell me which one of these is real. Get ready, gentlemen. This is a very interesting choice of 3. Is it the tough love ring. It's an engagement ring that also serves as a symbol of not only love, but brass knuckles. Is it water earrings? For the water lovers out there who want earrings with plastic bottles of what they love just on their ears.
Sure.
Or is it the memories necklace? It's a necklace for all those parents out there who want to forever memorialize their children's baby teeth. God. Just because they grow up doesn't mean you can't have a little piece of them with you always. So who's going to guess?
Yikes. Well, Buzz.
All right. Which one are you going for, Brent? You want me to read them one more time?
Well, just what was the second one? Remind me.
The second one was earrings of plastic water bottles. The first one was part engagement ring, part brass knuckles, and the third was baby teeth necklace.
I mean, the fact is that I know somewhere in the world, maybe not on Wish, but somewhere in the world, like tiny food or drink items can be earringized. So I'm going to go ahead and just guess that it's the earrings.
Brent, you are correct.
Boom!
That's what I was going to guess. Even though I will say there's a creepy doll out there that people keep their baby teeth and put them in the doll. So then the doll has like a full like row of teeth.
Oh, that's horrific.
Yeah, it's like a monster, like a plush monster, but it's terrifying, y'all.
My friend Rachel is like way into Flamin' Hot Cheetos, and I for Christmas once on Etsy bought her earrings that were teeny tiny Flamin' Hot Cheetos bags.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say her teeth were stained, so we actually kept them.
So I have my friend Rachel's teeth. It's a long story.
Yeah. I just want to imagine. Someone where you're like 19, you're coming back from college, you're coming back from something, and your friends or your significant other that you've brought back to see friends and family, all of a sudden they're just wearing teeth or a necklace out of all your baby teeth. And baby teeth are so small. That's the best part.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
I just feel like I would sit next to that lady on an airplane. Like, she would just slowly be, like, stroking it and just look at me and be like, their teeth from a baby.
This one is from when Stephanie lost it on Labor Day.
But the question is, what's creepier? If that lady's on the plane or if there's another lady who's like, let me show you my children's baby teeth. And she just pulls out, like, a folded Kleenex.
Either way. Well, gentlemen, I'm about to show you a picture of these plastic water bottles. They're just, I mean, they're straight up little baby water bottles.
Is there actual water in them?
No, I was actually really hoping that was the case, but they're called mineral water. I don't know. Earrings. But so, Brent, you guessed, or you buzzed in first, so you get the first guess of the price. What do you think this price is going for?
Well, gosh. I will say $14.99.
$14.99, Steven. That is not the exact amount. So, which way are you going to go with this?
99 cents.
Steven. Brent. The answer is, it's literally free. I don't understand. How are they making money on that?
Why?
It is free, Steven. You've kept it tied because of this. I was so shocked to see that you could, because what I did was when I sent you the photo, and you can see it on the show notes for anyone listening, I cut out the buy now thing where it says buy now for free, and then it's just, I was not expecting that. So yeah, I unfortunately am very sad that both the brass knuckles and the baby teeth necklace are not for real, but if anyone's out there just really, really wanting to say, hey, I love bottled water and I don't care who knows it, then we've got it for you. All right, so gentlemen, it is tied 2-2, and we're going into the final round. So we're moving outside from the products we've been doing, and we're literally going to move outside because it's time to go for the camping and outdoor section.
Oh my.
Are you ready?
Yes.
So here are the three options. Once again, they're all very interesting. Is it the fire gun? A small, easy-to-conceal flare gun that shoots out sparks and can help start any campfire in seconds. The floatable tent. Sometimes there's not a good place to find a campsite, so you have to get creative. Now the world is your campsite. Or 3, portable travel urinal. For men, it's easy to find a place to go, but now for women, too, they can use this handy tool to stand up while they pee.
Buzz.
Steven?
The floating tent.
It is not.
Oh, I've seen those. They exist.
It is, but it is not the thing that is on
Damn
Wish.
it.
So Brent, which are you going with, the fire gun or the portable travel urinal?
I'm just trying to think about like what Wish demographically is trying to do for people, because I believe either of these products exists.
It's possible all three of these exist somewhere, and I just don't know it.
I'm gonna go with the travel urinal.
You are correct.
Yes!
And get ready for... I've been telling people to make sure they go and look on our show notes. However, I don't know how to emphasize the importance of you needing to look at this.
I was going to say, of you not going to our show notes for this one.
Also, maybe not go to your show notes for this one, because if you remember, I said, men so often have the luxury of being able to find a place to pee wherever, because the world can often be their porta potty. For women, it's not always as easy, yet they have found a way to make that possible with this interesting contraption. I don't know.
Oh.
It is a powerful, powerful tool, unlike anything anyone has ever seen. For anyone who's not looking, let me explain the best way to describe what this is. Steven, you haven't reacted yet. Are you in shock, or are you still trying to find it?
I think I'm less shocked, because it just looks like a funnel peripheral that people use.
Also,
some folks who are trans will use them.
Well, that's why I was so surprised that it literally was called an outdoor...
Being sold as an outdoor urinal.
Yeah, which is why I thought it was so... that's why I thought it was so amazing. The one thing I will say, I forgot to take the price off on that, unfortunately. So...
I didn't see it.
So, did neither of you see it? Perfect.
I didn't see it, no.
Perfect. Don't look at it then.
I want to now.
Hold on. You're about to. But it has many, many reviews on it. Yeah, it's pretty much... I'd seen it before, but I was just so surprised that they were specifically branding it as the option to be able to, whenever you need to go outside, just bring this funnel contraption, and you can go wherever you want to. So, Brent, this is the way that you can take it for the win. So, I mean, this is all the pressure in the world here.
It looks like a cheap piece of plastic, but also it's so multifunctional. Like, those old pictures of, like, in Ben Franklin times of people, like, with an ear horn, like, to help them hear? Like, this does that, too. I'm having a hard time hearing. I'm going to pop this in my ear. Now I'm going to go around the corner and have a little pee-pee.
But please don't use it. Yes. Don't use that in reverse order.
I will.
No,
you
don't want to. You don't want to hear your own pee
between the two,
unless you do. If that's your thing, look, I'm not.
I guess
what did you say earlier? Trying to yuck anybody's?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I don't want to yuck anybody's.
It's like a seashell, but just with pee.
A pea shell, if you will.
A pea shell. Oh,
yes.
That's so
you don't want to hear the ocean out of this shell, though.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
$7.99.
$7.99. Okay, Steven, which way are you going?
$16.95.
Wow, very particular. The answer is an even $2. So, Brent, you have successfully won.
Yes.
Wish list.
I could have tied it.
You could have. You are the master of Wish. And I'm glad someone is, because it is a very interesting place, to say the least. So congratulations, man. You are...
Thanks.
You're good at this whole thing.
I'll make sure and tell the next person who's weird with me on a plane that I'm the Wish Master, just to out-weird them. Be like...
Oh, yes? Oh, yes, you have all of your children's baby teeth? Well, I'm the Wish Master. Could I have more baby teeth, Wishmaster? Of course you can. I have a collection.
My gosh. I have never... We've done a lot on this show. In our year and a half, year and 3/4, whatever, of doing this show, there have been a lot of disturbing images in my head. But Brent sitting on a plane and, like,
with
somehow,
a trench coat,
just, like, taking baby teeth out of the air... or himself pulling out a napkin and just, like, every time he unfolds it, there's more and more baby teeth in it.
I would want it to be more like a Merlin from the Sword and the Stone, like a poof of glitter that makes this noise.
That's
like
what
that.
I was thinking. Brent, I was literally going to say that. Like a magician that throws a smoke bomb on the ground, but instead of smoke, it's just baby teeth.
Oh, no.
The flight attendants would be very upset.
That would be a lot of baby teeth, though, to be able to truly mask a magician from disappearing.
And there's a lot of shrapnel risk going on there, and I don't love
true.
it.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Anyway, if as I said with our earlier segment, if you took one thing away, it's that Saga's great. If you take one thing away from this segment, it is that Steven was right. The floating tent does exist, and you can buy one on Smithfly for $1,500.
Yeah. Also, another thing, if you need to take something else away, from the beautiful, beautiful musicians out there, TLC, I want you all to remember their famous line: "Don't go chasing baby teeth."
No, what?
Don't go chasing baby teeth. Listen to the chill. I don't know what I'm saying.
No, please. It could go any way
is
after
true.
the opening line, and I don't want to find out where we go. That's
Actually,
a deep, dark
on a
rabbit
real
hole.
note, don't go chasing baby teeth. Actually, I think we can all support that decision.
There's an issue. There's an issue there. Anyway, we're going to move on to Brent's topic because this has turned into a hellscape that I want to escape on any level possible. My brain has gone to hell. I want to get out. And so, Brent, what are we talking about? We're gonna chat with you.
So, when I initially talked to y'all about being on the show, I found out that there was a custom, me bring the topic kind of topic, and it just happens that I happen to be between two therapists right now because one, I started going to therapy in New York, moved away. We made it like an every 2 weeks on the phone kind of thing. She's like a vaguely middle-aged psychoanalyst. So that's a very specific, and she jokes about like she'd rather have me like come in person like 3 days a week and like do the full-on analysis, Jungian or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm in Philly, and in order to get meds, needed to have a therapist through this clinic who happens to be more or less our age and queer and says bad words and is more of a, I think, dialectical behavioral
DBT.
therapy.
Yeah.
And so, like, it's making me realize as I'm phasing out my old therapist, we're still I'm not ready for it to be over, but I think she actually, okay, first off, she literally said to me when she started talking about my need for maybe an in-person therapist in Philly, my therapist, who I pay for the things that you do in therapy, said, "You do talk a lot."
It's not you, it's me.
Yeah. So like that's one to like frame, on the wall. But I think her point was that like a phone call every 2 weeks wasn't really cutting it for either of us.
Sure.
But it was quite a thing to say. But no, just making me think about how therapy is weird and how I thought about like sharing stories that instead of it being, because look, therapy can be hard. The reasons we go can be not positive, but it's an odd thing.
Oh, yeah.
And I just thought with me now being sort of newly aware of how odd it is, starting the whole journey over again, I just thought it might be something interesting to discuss, like ways in which we've experienced therapy that aren't the hard part.
Mm-hmm. And just off the bat, want to say, when Brent is saying therapy is weird, it's not weird to go to therapy.
No.
Sometimes it's just
it's just
very
a weird experience. Sometimes
it can be strange at times, but it's also funny.
Well, here's the thing. Okay,
right.
So when you are taught about therapy, which we're not really taught about because nobody talks about it, but everything you see in movies and TV makes it out to seem like therapy is always going to be like this groundbreaking, like crying and emotional like thing, and it can be, and it has been for me.
Yeah.
Like everyone who listens to this knows, the reason I went to therapy is because I lost my father, and like so I went to therapy and I worked through that. But at the same time, it's kind of like, especially with like the whole abstinence thing that they teach in a lot of schools right now, it's kind of like what they teach you in schools about sex, which is sex is very serious. And it's all like romance, passion. It's a very serious thing. And then once you become an adult, you realize, oh no, there are times when you laugh during anything like physical, like intimacy, like you laugh, like because there's hilarious things that may happen in your life. It's that sort of thing where you're kind of taught like this is a serious thing, but sometimes it's not. So, for instance, I was at therapy last month, and we were just talking, and sometimes my therapist and I get off on little tangents because we're both fairly progressive liberal folks, and so we will get to talking and we'll kind of have like a momentary where I think I'm helping her, like I'm kind of therapy for her, and we'll talk about politics and things like that very briefly, and then we get off track. But we're sitting in there, and there's this woman walking back and forth up and down the street right outside the window. And we're both clearly distracted by this woman. And so she's just walking up and down. And finally, the conversation just turns into, what's she doing? I don't know. And so we kind of realized that for about 5 to 10 minutes, we tried to have a conversation. And then we just stopped trying and just stared at this woman out the window. And we speculated what was happening. And what was happening is there is a Planned Parenthood clinic down the road. And this woman was handing out she was handing out some more conservative pro-life things, and so then all of a sudden another woman comes up the road and joins her, and we're like, oh, there's a little team. And then another woman comes on the other side of the road and starts throwing things at her.
Oh my gosh.
What?
And so we're just sitting there staring out the window, watching this weird thing, and we realize
watching a culture war go down.
Yeah, it's two people protesting, and then another person counter-protesting, and just like there's a lot of yelling and videotaping going on, and it's just this moment when I'm like, I'm in therapy. This is supposed to be the most relaxing thing ever. And all of a sudden, my therapist stands up and walks over to the window. And mind you, there's a parking lot between this window and the street. It's not like she's right in front of the street. And she just bangs on the window with her hand and goes, hey! Get out of here!
Go on now, get!
Yeah, it was essentially like, go on, get out. And you could see like a visible just like, oh, and they like shuffled away. And I'm like, oh my God, my therapist just ran off a bunch of protesters. Like, and
I think
something
that's really funny about that. So that reminds me of like one of those moments where both of y'all are distracted. I think one thing I always have enjoyed about therapy is those times where sometimes you're just not on it and you don't have it, and sometimes also they don't have it. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's at different times, and sometimes you both come together, and you can tell that like y'all are lucky to get there that day, and clearly neither of you have really thought much about put much thought in advance.
Right.
And those are some of the funniest moments because, don't get me wrong, I mean, one thing I think that is especially funny that we'll probably share and have already kind of alluded to is therapy can also be awkward because you're one
sure.
Even though Brent, your therapist, did not like how much you were talking, often it's expected that it's a somewhat one-way conversation.
Right.
And for me, I think one of the things that I always like, I had a therapist for a while that I really, really liked him. There was only one thing that he did that always made me uncomfortable, and he didn't do it. Well, he pretty much did every single session, but sometimes he would really lean into it, and sometimes it wouldn't. I think it was just, I don't know. I think it was just one of his like go-to tools. But he would just he would start off and he's like, so that sounds like younger Chris speaking. So I was like, yeah, I think it's possible. He goes, what is that Chris telling you? And I was like, and so I would maybe try and answer, and he goes, but what would this Chris tell? And like he kept describing multiple Chris's from different ages.
What would he sound like?
and I'm sitting there, and at one point I'm like, I think this is why I've come to you, so that Chris can, like, so you can tell me what that Chris would tell me, because I don't know. And there's a point where I was like, am am I making up a conversation with myself? I love you so much, therapist, and I'm so afraid to disappoint you. I feel like I need to give you the answer that you're looking for. And
I've had that experience.
It's so funny where you feel guilty.
Yes.
And you're like, I don't want to let you down.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's also important to remember that therapists are human, and it's not like, your GP is human too, but it's different. Like somebody that has to listen to you for 50 minutes, like I as I said earlier, I've taught. So like I've had the experience in class where you have the kid and you kind of go, "Hey, what'd I just say?" Like, because they're not with you. And when they go, a buzz, a bee, to razzle jet, like, they weren't listening. But, like, I remember one time, it was a particular dilemma of mine, but I'm sure I'd been just on a tear for, like, 10 straight minutes. And I was like, I don't know. Do you know? What do you think? Really, seriously, what do you think about this thing? What's the answer? And she goes, well. And, like, I pretended with her. We pretended on that day that she had been paying attention that last minute because, man. And here's the thing. This is a therapist I've been with for 7 years. And so many things that I know about myself and my brain and all this stuff are just because she says it over and over again. Because sometimes therapy is like the way that when you're a kid, you need to be told, tie your shoes, you'll trip, tie your shoes. Or whatever the thing is that you need to be told 1,000 times so that you'll grow up and hear that parent's head, telling you so you'll remember and be a good person. But despite the fact that she's been so helpful, there that one time, and I think probably some other times, but like, or like catching her yawning and being like, well, whatever, it's 50 straight minutes. But yeah, no, like I just remember trying to hold back the smirk of, you don't know what I'm talking about, do you?
That makes two of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely feel like there have been multiple occasions where I haven't wanted to let my therapist down. But have y'all had this happen where your therapist asks you a question that seems hypothetical?
Oh my god!
But they're expecting an answer.
Yes.
And there's a good solid there's a solid 30 seconds afterwards where I'm going, like I'm trying to think about it.
That's so deep, therapist. You're totally
like,
right.
What's an example?
No, well, it's not even something. It's just like she'll say like, and you have to think to yourself like, are you willing to do that?
Yeah, that's a great example.
And there's a moment of like me going,
I do need to think about that.
Yeah, and you're like you say a couple more times because you act like you're soaking it in, but you're really like, are you gonna say anything else?
What do I do next?
And then literally, I have looked at her and been like, you want me to say something, don't you?
that dead air is rough.
That was one of my number one bullet points as soon as like you told us about this was sometimes there can be very long pauses.
Yes.
And it is a game of chicken of who will speak first.
My old therapist would do this thing where I think that it's like trying to jog me to keep going.
Yeah.
But it also felt like possibly just this out of habit kind of thing. But in a pause, she'd go, and like I one time was like, I wonder how long she'd go if I just because like I am a big talker and also dead air feels weird.
Yes.
And like that brings me to a thing that after our first meeting ever, she said something like, well, if this is what you want and this is how you normally comport yourself and talk to people, then, like, and it was just this like side thing that she said. But I see now that like, I think that my anxiety about not knowing what to say in therapy makes it a show.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, I've been with her for 7 years, so I don't need to make it a show. We just jump right in. But my new therapist, who again, like, absolutely is someone that could be in my friend group, diagnosed me as having had a couple of bummers in a row this past weekend, and like also, says bad words, gets a lot of things that are somewhat millennial in nature. but I'm doing this like yeah da 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 da, and there's my neuroses. Like it's like, and for me, it surfaces as wanting to please my therapist, but also like please laugh at my jokes.
Yes.
And the thing is, the jokes can also be about unwanted thoughts or like stuff that is not good, but I'm not yet. I haven't even like sat back yet. I've been with this new therapist probably 4 sessions. I haven't sat back into the couch because I just like, I think that my natural state is new person. Okay, here we go. Click it on.
Yeah.
And do the show. But I almost wonder if what I should do next time I go is just be like, hey, that's a thing that I naturally do, but if you feel like that's getting in the way of our work, you can call me on that, and even we can just... She also does, like, movement stuff, which when she first told me that, I was like, look, I got a degree in acting. I never need to mix movement and feelings again. But, like, who knows, you know? Like, maybe the thing is, like, I should sit back and take a breath and complain and not just be like, isn't it funny that I've got anxiety? You know, it's...
And okay, 2 things. 1, do y'all do the thing where you start going, and I know this sounds weird, or I know this, you're like justifying it before you say it?
Oh yeah.
Always.
Okay, cool.
Always.
Just making
Especially
sure.
with a newer therapist or like someone that you've been around even for like 6-8 months. It's like a freaking awkward first date that's now like 12th day, and you're still trying to explain. I don't want you to think bad of me, so let me explain and justify my reasoning for why I felt this way. I definitely don't feel this way anymore. Maybe I do, but
my version of that lately is trying to, like, when I explain something, I talk in a lot of metaphors. And when I try to explain something, I also have to let her know, because she doesn't know me that well, that the metaphor I'm creating is not a delusion. Like, I'll go, okay, these unwanted thoughts, they're kind of like bullies. They're like kind of up in my face. And I'm like, okay, just so you know, I don't think they're there. I don't think they're real.
Yeah.
And like having to kind of pull back the curtain and be like, this is not a delusion. I'm helping you understand. Okay, back to the show.
Yeah, I do that a lot.
But like, it's...
narrate your own therapy.
Oh, of course. And there's so many prefaces. My old therapist, I'd just be like, okay, now I don't want you to think this, but it happened to be this one time, and look at whatever. And she'd be like, what are you trying to say? What are you trying to say? Because if nobody stops me, I'll just do this prologue of 5 minutes to say I tripped on a banana or whatever it is, like just something very brief and boring.
I'm curious, have your therapists enacted any strange methods of getting you to think a certain way or not think a certain way? For instance, my therapist started a thing for a while. Thank God it's over. But every time I would say something, because I think I've moved past it sort of, so she doesn't do it anymore, and she conditioned me like a dog. Every time I would say a self-deprecate, because a lot of my humor comes from like self-deprecating. So, like, for me, it was always like, if I tear myself down, other people can't tear me down. And so I would tear down myself so much, and so every time I would say something self-deprecating, she would take a bead, like you would put on a bracelet, and just throw it at me.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, gently placed it into a jar to show by the end of the session how many times it's spoken back.
She did that. It wasn't working. So she would just throw them at me. Not too hard, but not as soft as you would think.
Enough that if your mouth was open, you've swallowed it by mistake.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And so it got to the point where I would say something and like flinch. And so I think she knew that, like, all of a sudden she's like, you flinched. I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, you know that what you're saying is self-deprecating, but you're still doing it. Let's talk about that. And I'm
young
just like,
grasshopper.
oh God, here we go. Like, yeah. And it's one of those things I act like I don't want to talk about it, but I think I kind of do. Like, it's like, but then I act like I'm like, I don't know. I don't. Secretly deep down, I'm like, talk to me.
I don't think that I have that, and I've heard from different friends of, like, you know, exercises or physicalizations like that. For me, it's this refrain that I could never get used to of anytime there's a fight or a bad feeling or a bad thought or whatever that happens because of text messaging. My therapist, who she could be 50, she could be 60. I don't know. It's none of my business. But she's old enough to go, texting's the devil. You're just going to have to believe me. I know your generation does it. But if it's worth fighting over, it's worth a phone call, or just wait till you can see each other in person. Don't text. It's not good. And for 7 years, I have either nodded or been like, yeah, okay, well, try telling that to people my age, okay? Like, or whatever it is. And so
I'm going to send this crap to a group text right now.
I'm going to tell you
How
about
stupid
that.
is it?
Fun fact, and I don't think my girlfriend Molly would, I don't think this is telling tales out of school, but recently we had some rocks and we talked about it, and she had this idea, because if anybody listening knows about attachment styles, I have an avoidant attachment style, and it's not great, but it is what it is. But the thing is, she was like, what if we just, during the day, this is Molly now, what if we during the day just pretended that, except for emergencies, we didn't have texting technology for each other? Like back when it was just a phone, and so in order to contact your partner at work, it was like a thing. Like maybe they were in a meeting, you didn't know, so it had to be an emergency. What if we just simulated that? We could do a good morning, and then once work's over, we can talk in the evening, but like not during work hours. And I was like, that actually sounds great. I don't think you're gonna like it. Cut to now, what is a week and a half later, I love it. She loves it. It weirdly doesn't sap our goodwill for each other by like me making sure she needs to like know every little step of, oh, I'm writing this thing. Here's a screenshot. Oh, I saw this tweet. Or her being like, oh, I walked past a cute dog on the sidewalk. Instead of like all of that, and like also, occasional snippiness via texting, it's just none of it during the day. And I swear to gosh, thinking in a month I might pitch a think piece like my girlfriend and I don't text during the day and it saved our relationship or something like that. And I want to tell my old therapist, oh my God, I rolled my eyes at you, and every time I talked about texting, you told me don't text or unless you have to, and in a roundabout way you had a point. Holy shit.
Right. I roll my eyes at my therapist.
I'm sure your therapist would love. After 7 years, I finally realized, in a roundabout way, you're kind of right. She's going to be moved by that.
It's going to feel like a big shiny medal.
So my therapist, the one she goes back to a lot, because she's CBT, so like cognitive behavioral. And so a lot of what she goes back to is like mindfulness and like bringing yourself into the present. And I've talked before, like one of the things she wants me to do is like paint the nails on one of my hands so that I notice my hand more, so I'm more grounded, or try to do my whole day without using my dominant hand unless I absolutely have to. And so I've talked about that, but the one thing she always gets me on is she's always like, well, have you tried mindfulness exercises? Have you tried breathing? And like she's tried to walk me through it, but I've been doing it for so long that like my gut's like, yeah, have I tried breathing? Come on. And then the more I think about it, I'm like, no, I haven't. And I mean, should.
Technically I'm breathing, so that I'm kind of trying, but not intentional breathing.
Yeah, it's anyway.
Yeah.
All of this to say, therapy real weird, y'all.
But let me say this last thing that I think can kind of end it. Like,
sure.
Just as weird as I can be in a funny, awkward way, it's just also weird how sometimes your therapist can say something, and their ability to figure something out that you have been struggling to find words to communicate can be almost wizard-like. And it becomes weird in the other way of being like, damn it, where were you 12 years ago? You would have made high school Chris significantly happier, and I would not have been dealing with this ever since. So like that's what's so cool. It's weird in every possible way.
Yeah, it's good though. Definitely. It's one of those things, and we've talked about it on here. I mean, we preach therapy all the time. But we talk about it on here. If you're not in therapy, I don't think it even has to be a person coping with mental illness or even super high stress situations. I think that just talk to somebody. Go to therapy, try it out. If you have the means for it.
And there's tons of other cost-effective options too.
Right,
So.
and there are
Yes.
programs to help people who are in need of mental health assistance receive that care. And so, like, try therapy. It works. And I was huffing and puffing when they made me go to therapy. I was like, I even told my therapist on my first visit, like, I don't buy into this. I don't think that me sitting on a couch for an hour and talking to you is going to do anything. I appreciate what you're trying to do, and I'm willing to give it a shot because I've tried everything else, but this isn't going to work. And like by the end of the session, I was just like, damn it.
It's like, look, I don't want to discredit your profession, but I just don't understand how you get me so much. Just
Yeah,
like
exactly.
within like 30 seconds, you switch.
I very much was that guy when I sat down. I'm like, I don't even think this is going to work. And by the end of the session, I'm like, you're right. I did feel detached from my dad for the last 2 years. Like, just like carrying on. And so like, it's an experience I think everyone should have. Anyway, we're going to start winding it down, but if you would like to send us a topic for discussion or a mental health check-in, or you have anything else on your mind, we'll remind you again, we're not professionals, but you can reach us at isthisadultingpod@gmail.com. Every message gets read, even if we don't have a chance to respond. You can follow us over on Twitter at @istthis_adulting. Find us on Facebook, either at the Facebook page for the show, or you can join the Best Friends discussion group. It's our online discussion group about the show and mental health support group at the same time. So if you're having a rough day, you can pop in there and say, hey, I had a job interview that didn't go so well and I'm not feeling great about it. Or you can pop in there and say, hey, I got a job and I'm super excited. And people are going to celebrate with you on one, and they're going to sit there and talk and listen to you on the other. And so it's a really, really cool place. It's also got the most animal gifts I have ever seen popping in and out of there. People are just there to bring joy when they need to and to be support when they need to. Definitely check it out. And hey, while you're at it, if you're already on your computer, like if you're already doing it, like, or your phone, like just open up that Apple Podcast app. Just subscribe, just rate, review, do all that fun stuff. Just do that. It's a fun thing to do, right? Anyway,
You sounded like you're trying, like, come on, just do it. Just peer pressure.
just do it. Listen, if there's one thing I know, it's cheese.
Oh, okay. I was like, what?
But if there's another thing I know, I don't.
Okay,
I got
I was
nothing.
like,
I know
yeah,
that we'd like
yeah.
to thank the collection for the use of our theme music, The Borrowers, off their album Ars Moriendi.
Steven, they have a new album, and they're going on tour, like, now.
I
So
know.
they're going across the entire United States, or most of the states, so please go check out their website, I think it's thecollectionband.com. If not,
Yes,
just type
it
in the
is.
Collection Band. You got to check them out. They're going to be everywhere. They're amazing. They're cutie pies, all the above. End of story.
Their bass player has a very lovely, luscious beard.
A lot of them actually have beards.
That's
that are
true.
pretty
That's
luscious,
true.
so-
I only know him though, so
That's true. That is true.
sorry about that. Brent, thanks so much for coming on the show.
Oh, it has been such a pleasure. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Yeah. Do you want to remind everybody where they can find you, projects, all that fun stuff?
Sure, we'll do part 2. I'm on Twitter at Brentalfloss. My podcast, Trends Like These, is at Trends Like These on Twitter. And Party Game is useyourwords.lol. That's the website to get more information. And also, just to remind you, if you're that Trekkie that wants to be on the ground floor of this Star Trek parody musical, Facebook.com/Trek Parody Musical. I'd love to know what you think.
Brent,
Uh-oh.
I just keep thinking of more songs that I want Spock to sing. I want Spock to be both characters from Frozen on Do You Want to Build a Snowman? Just
Oh, is
all
that
I
it?
want, right?
Okay.
Yep, that's it. I just want just like 2 Spocks, like just like in dresses. Do you want to build a snowman?
Now,
Hey, honestly, you've hit upon something. Like, the singing style of Spock is a real point of contention between me and myself. Because at one point I was like, Vulcans don't sing. Vulcans can talk in like Rex Harrison.
But damn, do they
My
dance
Fair
their
Lady.
asses off?
But you've nailed it. No, the Wrath of Khan scene, Kirk interrupts Spock's meditation, and now it's a tap dance meditation.
Oh my
Anyway,
gosh.
not to give too much away.
I love it so much.
Lord of the Dance.
I'm really excited for when Picard finally comes up with the idea for writing Scotty's song, I Beam to Beam. Anyway.
All right.
Sorry, I couldn't resist. That's going to do it for us here in Is This Adulting. We did it. We've had all three of the Trends Like These folks on, and you're all lovely. This is why I continue to tell people to listen to this show. It's so fun. It's literally how I get my news.
Well, thank you. We try to be for people that don't like to read all the little drips of bullshit. We try to, it's like, spend an hour with us, you get all your bullshit and what's really going on all at once.
It's wonderful. All right, well.
Thank you.
That is going to do it for us here this week on Is This Adulting. I've been your best friend, Steven.
I've been your best friend, Chris.
And I've been your best friend, Brent.
And remember, kids, be happy, stay healthy, and go hug someone.
Because you never know. They may have just been granted baby teeth from the Wishmaster.
Ooh.
You get baby teeth, and everyone on the plane, get baby teeth.
What
and
a
all of a
generous
sudden,
gift.
So instead of the oxygen mask dropping, the thing opens and it's just baby teeth everywhere. Baby teeth on a plane. Oh my gosh, we have a new... Okay, when you're done with this musical, Brent, we're going to do baby teeth on a plane.
And now I have died inside. Have a good week.
Houston, we have some baby teeth. Bye.